Hey, I am Lulu. I'm a compulsive overeater. I'm from Boston. Um, uh, just as some step two resources, just some things I remember when I was coming to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. And I was really struggling with that actually, like what does that look like? What does that, how is that going to be even palatable to me? I had kind of a real resistance to it. Um, but I knew everything that I learned when I read the doctor's opinion and I read more about alcoholism in the big book. I knew what my problem was. And then when I read There Is a Solution and I read We Agnostics, I knew what my solution was. So I had better be open to it. Or I'm going to have the problem that I've had all my life. And I was done with the problem. So I was thinking about the different things. One of the things was just leaving like the word God. I mean, I can remember, this was like, no, I'm really dating myself here. This is back before OMG. Does anybody ever remember life before OMG? Like when nobody ever said OMG? You said, oh my God. And if you wrote it, you typed, oh my God. You didn't say OMG. So, but back before OMG, whenever I would type something to somebody and I would say, oh my God, I couldn't even type the word God, like G-O-D. Like, God forbid somebody thought I was holy or something. I would spell it G-A-W-D. So this is the space I'm coming from, okay? Couldn't even write the word God. So now I'm in program and now they're telling me that I need to come to believe that a power greater than myself is going to restore me to sanity, and that this power is kind of like a God thing. So I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I just knew I needed a whole new level of open-mindedness. So I started thinking about all the things that were really hard for me to do. And one of them was the word God. So I just went through that and I started naming it this and naming it that. And this is a cute name. And, this is a cute definition, conception. And I had all different kinds of things. And then I just realized that was kind of exhausting. And anytime like I was talking to anybody about my higher power, it seemed like it was named something that like I had to explain all the time. And I just thought, geez, wouldn't it just be really simple to call it God? Like just call it God, And so I did. That's how I started using the word God. And I was like, I have a God of my understanding. And I don't even have to say that to people now, because if people want to think that I have this, like, whatever God they think I have, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what anybody thinks about anything, about me. Because I learned that in this program, that other people's opinions are none of my business and everybody's entitled to their opinions. So another thing, there was a big book meeting that I used to go to, and at the end of the meeting, everybody would hold hands, and we wouldn't say the Serenity Prayer. We would say the Our Father, not the Our Father. I know I have a Boston accent, so I always they kid me. I say the Our Father. Okay, so the Our Father, is that how you say it? Our Father? Our Father. Oh, I like the Our Father. Anyway, so everybody would hold hands and say the Our Father, right? And I remember I couldn't say it. I'm like, I'm not saying all this like hocus pocus words. Like it's crazy. And we'd all be holding hands and I would be like, I get to just be here with these people and not say it. I get to do that. And I felt entitled, and that's what I did. And then one day I got kind of curious about that prayer. And I thought, geez, I wonder if I knew more about that prayer and what it actually is saying and what it means, and how I could, translate it into something that I could hear it, I could say it, and I could translate it into my own conception. And I've learned that I can just be anywhere. I can be in any service, in any church. I can be reading any book. It doesn't matter what the religion base is. I translate everything the same way I can translate the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous to food. Translate. It serves me well to translate some very useful long-standing, famous prayers and literature and religions, and to just see where I can just take in this beautiful stuff instead of being offended by it, and then translating it for me that it meshes up with my own conception. So what I did was I went online and I started researching like the meaning of the prayer, and then I got like some different things on what it meant, and different things, like all different sources, and I kind of just picked and chose and things that made me feel good when I read it. And then I also I realized that there's like an awful lot of program in that prayer. Like, who knew? So what I did was I typed up this thing, and I had shared it with sponsees over the years, and I just want to go over it with you. So I have a copy of it that I don't know how good it's going to come out, but we're going to put it on the screen. And so anyway, I just have it broken down like line by line. I don't know if everybody can see that. So the opening line, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So Our Father, it means like not mine alone, but ours. It's like this God is ours. So it starts with our, which makes us less self-centered and more conscious of those around me. As I walk alone, I understand this to extend to everything I see, hear, feel, the birds, the trees, the stones under my feet. We are all connected to our Father. And I feel that like I could be out in the tree in my yard, and it's like, it's our Father. It's our Father, you know. Father is a paternal authority figure, a teacher, a mentor, a disciplinarian. I consider, when I say our Father, I think more of a mentor. I feel like God can always show me how to be the best person I can be. It's more is always being revealed. So I feel like I have like a mentor, somebody that actually created this world is mentoring me on how to relate to it in the healthiest way I can. Who art in heaven. So we are conditioned to believe that heaven is above us in the sky, but I sense heaven, which is the essence of our Father, is around and within us. So I like to think that heaven is, I like heaven on, well, actually, that's the next one, heaven on down on earth as it is in heaven. It's kind of like we can have heaven right here in this life. Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed means sacred. Who knew that? Admire and respect this powerful presence to whom this prayer is a verse of praise. So we're just praising and admiring and respecting the presence of God. That's how I made it work for me. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Until the full understanding of God's kingdom, we must strive to model on earth how business is conducted in heaven, meaning promote all that is right and true and good and kind. And that, for me, that is what this program is all about. That is what this program has taught me. The only way that I was going to be the student that I needed to be and have the ears that I needed to listen was to put the damn food down, because it was blocking me. It was blocking me from this good life. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us this day, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So give us this day. We're just focusing on today. Give thanks for what we have and been given in this moment. Our daily bread doesn't only pertain to physical nourishment, it pertains to spiritual nourishment. In other words, please grant me all that I need on this day in order to fulfill the preceding commitment about doing it like it is in heaven. Isn't that nice to think about? So it's like, I just need what I need. I need my physical nourishment. I need my spiritual nourishment. I need my emotional nourishment. And I get that as long as I continue to work this program in OA. The physical nourishment I get it's just exactly what it says it is. It's physical nourishment. Like, I need to nourish my body. I need to eat food, like real food, not like a chemical cocktail of junk food, and expect to be in a really nourished space. And it's the same thing with my emotional and spiritual nourishment, which this where, okay, I see that, Shalice, where this as long as I do my step 10, 11, and 12, I remain physically, emotionally, and spiritually nourished. Um, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Wow, that's not like, step 8 and 9, right? 6 and 7, 8 and 9. If we illuminate the truth about our misconduct against others, or did so more often, we'd see clearly how we need to strive harder to do it on earth as it is in heaven. Doing so requires that we confront the 3 most powerful words of any of us can say about ourselves. I was wrong. I was wrong. Very powerful words. Some of us are better equipped to forgive others depending on the severity of the trespass. We strive to put things in its proper perspective, to actually have compassion for the troubles of my wrongdoer. That's really interesting to see what kind of a space somebody else is coming from to have done that, and find that compassion for that person rather than to be bogged down with the wrongdoing to me. Because guess what? If I'm emotionally and physically and spiritually nourished, it's kind of hard to kind of break me down. It's really hard to kind of break me down. Think about those individuals who can forgive, like, the murderer of one of their loved ones and find peace and comfort in doing so. I mean, that's a big, that's a tall order, but it's been done. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. It would likely be our faulty egos leading us into temptation, as so frequently occurs, as opposed to God deliberately leading us astray, right? It's like, oh God, how come where were you when I picked up the food again? It's just kind of like, yeah, you weren't paying attention. Like I was there, your ego was kind of stuck between us, but God never deliberately leads me astray, ever. In order to not be led into temptation, we need to be aware of the commitment we've made in the prayer thus far, all the commitments up to here. And it turns out that this prayer kind of reminded me of like the steps, like the steps need to be done in a certain order. You're doing one and they referred all back to the other ones. And it's just all comes together beautifully. Evil is perpetuated by humankind and can be a consequence of being led into temptation. There's the consequences of me being led into temptation, not doing the right thing, is always, I don't call it evil when I do that, but it's not my higher self. It's not my higher self. And I'm interested in my higher self. Asking to be delivered from evil keeps us aware of its pitfalls and the tricky and deceptive manner in which evil attempts to seduce us. And that's ego stuff. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Here the prayer comes full circle by closing with a reminder that all things originate in God, and it is then that I express gratitude and appreciation for the beauty of all I survey. And I just read that, and I just got goosebumps from head to toe. It's just what this stuff does to me. I'm just so grateful for every day that, especially that time that the stars aligned just perfectly, and there was a person brought into my life that kind of like shook me and said, how about like if you just like wake up, pay attention, open your mind, trust me. And that's what I did. Thank you.